polls have been closed for nearly 48 hours. Votes are still being counted around the nation to determine some key Senate and House races. Republicans are on the verge of controlling the White House, Senate, and House. Our Alex Burstein joins Ronnie to discuss what's latest from around the electoral map. Guys?
All right, Alana, thanks so much. Well, I mean, we got the pro here, Alex Burstein. So we saw a lot happen on Tuesday night. Most notably, a red wave across the country. Was reading today that Republicans made gains in almost all 50 states, be it small or large. So what's the latest on that?
Yeah, I mean, it was the House, it was the Senate, and obviously the big fish, it was the White House. Kamala Harris could not win most of the states that she needed to in those swing states, and Donald Trump ends up getting the victory right now at 295, needed 270. There's a good chance, though, he gets over that 300 mark once the final two states come in. The two that are waiting right now, you have Nevada over here and Arizona. These are two states, swing states, that count their votes a little bit slower than the other. Arizona especially lagging behind right now, but both of those states leaning towards going red right now. So once those two states come in, they'll likely be Trump over 300 electoral votes. And because of that, today, President Biden said that there's going to be a peaceful transition of power and he's ready to move on to this next administration. Here's what he had to say.
I will do my duty as president. I'll fulfill my oath and I will honor the Constitution. On January 20th, we'll have a peaceful transfer of power here in America.
Now, Alex, something else that we heard a lot about in this election, especially from the Harris campaign, was trying to mobilize the youth vote. The numbers, though, coming out of this election really don't show that as much.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the Democrats really needed, those 18 to 29-year-old voters. And the idea was you get a younger candidate, you have a candidate who's much better on social media than really any candidate that's ever been seen in an election before. You see back in 2020, Biden with a pretty commanding lead among those 18 to 29 voters, 60 to 36. The idea was this number may even blossom in 2024. What actually happened, the complete opposite. Harris drops 5%. Trump with some major gains, only a plus 13 margin. Harris really needed this to be much more in the range of plus 25, plus 30 to get it there. That's just not what happened, and that was just the first of a number of things that did not go right for the Democrats.
Absolutely. So I want to talk now about the Senate. Obviously, some huge gains for Republicans there. We saw them flip a 17-year seat in Ohio, Sherrod Brown getting ousted. Bernie Moreno is now in. So what's that looking like for Republicans? I know that they're hopeful tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the idea heading in was it was likely going to be the Republicans taking the Senate, but it's by a pretty big margin now, 53 to 45, with a couple of seats still yet to go. Entering, it was 50-50, but the Democrats had the margin because of that vice presidential tiebreaker. Now a tiebreaker is not going to even be needed. 8 votes right now. We'll see what it is when these next two elections come in. The one seat that did just get called in Pennsylvania, Bob Casey loses his seat to Dave McCormick. That's another flip for Republicans. They've been doing that all around. Two positive signs for the Democrats as they try to get this closer. The two outstanding races in Nevada and in Arizona both have Democratic leads right now. Jackie Rosen leading Sam Brown over in Nevada. That's a 1% lead or so, 90% in. Looks like that's going to go Democratic. The other big race in Arizona, Ruben Gallego, the House member taking on Kari Lake, the former governor candidate in Arizona. Only 69% of the vote in, but Gallego's starting to open up a little bit bigger of a lead. And as you know, that is usually those late ballots tend to be more Democratic, so good for him. But earlier this week, Donald Trump was very excited about the gains that the Republicans had. Here's what he had to say.
All of those victories, nobody expected that, nobody. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that. And you have some great senators and some great new senators. And it also looks like we'll be keeping control of the House of Representatives.
So, Alex, no debate that Republicans had a great night across the board. However, here in central New York, incumbent Brandon Williams, he was ousted by John Mannion, so that's plus 1 seat for the Democrats. New York State was really looked at. The Democrats wanted to gain back seats in this state. So how's the House looking for Republicans?
Yeah, I mean, that was a big flip for the Democrats, and they're going to need a few more of those over these next couple of days. The House obviously counts a little bit slower because you have so many races around the country. 210 to 198 right now, the race to 218. And how things looking right now, Republicans leading in 13 of them that are left to be called. They need 8 of those. So unless there's some late switches, it's gonna likely be all 3 levels for the Republicans. But as you see down here, a lot of races within 1%, 2%, 3%. So a lot can change in the next couple of days.
All right, Alex, thanks so much as always. Alana?